Welcome to Gen X Travel Guide. Join me on my first ever river cruise with Viking River Cruises aboard the Viking River, traveling from Basel, Switzerland to Amsterdam in the Netherlands along the Rhine River. We'll be stopping in the cities of Breisach, Strasbourg, Speyer, Rüdesheim, Koblenz, Cologne, and Kinderdijk. Ever wondered what a river cruise is actually like? Then this video is for you. I'll show you the highlights of my trip, insights, and the absolute beauty and charm of old school Europe. So let's go. We started our adventure in the city of Basel, where Switzerland, Germany, and France meet. It's a modern, clean, and safe city. It straddles the Rhine River and is surrounded by a cluster of old town buildings with a rich history. As you know, Viking can arrange your air travel and transfer to the ship in Basel if you desire. You also have the option for pre and post cruise extensions arranged by Viking, of course, if you have the additional days to explore. Just be aware that many of the popular extensions do sell out and may not be available to book. So I arranged my own flight and itinerary and flew in 4 days prior to embarkation to explore Basel and the Swiss Alps. Plus, arriving a few days prior to embarkation gives you time for any possible flight delays that may occur. And since I was coming from the west coast of the US, I did not want to take any chances arriving late. Now, if you do have a chance to arrive early or stay later, if you are doing the Amsterdam to Basel route, I would highly suggest giving the Swiss Alps a look if you haven't been. You can journey through Switzerland's majestic mountain range and discover the beautiful Lauterbrunnen region and explore the famed top of Europe in Jungfrau. I'll have a future video about the Swiss Alps and the surrounding region coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. The embarkation buffet on our ship started at 11 a.m., which was fantastic since I had to check out of my hotel at 11 a.m. as well. Now, once you get to the ship, it's a breeze. Staff from the ship will assist you from your luggage curbside, and once you are on board, you check in Viking, and they will let you know if your room is ready or not. If not, you can have lunch at the buffet with your choice of salads, sandwiches, and hot soup in the restaurant, or just relax in the lounge until your room is ready. So our beautiful ship was the Viking River. The name River originates from Norse mythology, where she is depicted as the daughter of the goddess Freya, associated with love, beauty, fertility, and war. Her name from Old Norse translates to treasure, jewel, or relic, symbolizing something very precious. All longships are structurally identical, with over 60 built since 2011 by Neptune Werft, sharing the same specifications to ensure consistency across the fleet. The River was built in the year 2020. There were also 2 welcome walks scheduled at 1:30 and 3:30. This is a great way to see Basel while waiting for your room, and since cast-off was until 7:30, so hey, why not? And once aboard the bus, you are taken on tour by a local guide for some fresh air on a leisurely walk through Basel, which is fairly flat and easy to walk. So if you have the time, I would highly recommend this excursion. Now back on the ship, after the walking tour, my room was ready as promised. I booked the veranda stateroom A on deck 3, and my initial impressions were that the room was very tidy and clean. It's a 205 square foot stateroom with a river view, full size, sliding glass door, queen size bed, Wi-Fi, flat screen TV with a decent selection of local live TV channels, movies on demand, and in-house programming. The bathroom is a little cramped for my liking, but you'll love the heated floors and anti-fog mirror. It also has 110 to 20 volt outlets and USB-A ports to charge all your electronic gear. Bottled water is also provided and replenished every day by the cabin crew, which is fantastic. Soon, the welcome briefing and safety instructions meeting was upon us. The management team of Viking will brief you on safety, talk about the ship, and explain what you can look forward to during your time aboard. You get to meet the captain, hotel manager, program director, housekeeper, maitre d', and executive chef. You can also watch this presentation from your stateroom if you like. Dinner is served at 7 p.m. in most cases in the restaurant and Aquavit Terrace, which usually opens 15 minutes later. There is a standard menu that is served every night, and then there's also the chef specials, which can be viewed in advance on the Viking app. The chef specials often highlight regional flavors like fresh Rhine Valley ingredients, and I definitely would advise not to miss them. All I can say is that dinner on every night of the cruise was absolutely delicious, and the wait staff were outstanding and attentive. And finally, around 7:30, it was time to cast off and head for our next stop, Breisach, Germany. We arrived around 7 a.m. and docked in the beautiful Breisach, Germany. If you're an early bird, grab some breakfast and then head up to the sun deck for stunning views of St. Stephen's Cathedral, built between the 12th and 13th centuries, and soak in the surrounding scenery. The included Black Forest excursion kicks off promptly. You'll receive your assigned group the night before, along with your shore excursion ticket listing your name, room number, group letter, and time. This 4-hour adventure starts with guides meeting outside the ship or in the lobby. Just spot the paddle waving your group and check in. From there, hop on the coach for a ride that's a little over an hour, but the scenic views and comfy seats make it fly by. Black Forest in southwestern Germany whispers secrets of ancient folklore, its origins steeped in the enchanting fairy tales collected by the Brothers Grimm. This mystical region, dotted with half-timbered villages, cascading waterfalls, and legendary creatures, birthed a world of magic and moral lessons passed down through generations. Once you arrive, marvel at the largest Kluge clock I've ever seen. Watch an intriguing demonstration on how these clocks are crafted, browse Kluge clocks for sale, witness glass blowing, and learn the secrets behind their famous Black Forest cake, the region's sweet signature with its layers of chocolate, cherries, and cream filling the air. Now if a Kluge clock catches your eye, no need to lug it back. The shop offers worldwide shipping. They'll quote you shipping on the spot for clocks or any other must-have finds, and trust me, there's plenty to tempt you. Once back at the ship, grab lunch, rest, and relax. Or, like I did, jump on another coach for an afternoon outing. I chose the medieval village of Colmar, a 4-hour optional excursion. There, our guide led us on a stroll through the charming medieval lanes and squares of Colmar, diving into its fairy tale Little Venice Quarter. With 9th century streets, 13th century Gothic churches, and pristine old town blending French and German Renaissance architecture, this storybook city captivates at every turn. Finally back at the ship after a long day, we set off from Breisach for Cologne, Germany. The next morning, the Viking River is already docked at our new location in Cologne, Germany. The included shore excursion will take you to the beautiful city of Strasbourg, France. In my case, I opted for the Strasbourg from the top excursion. At the time of the booking, it sounded like it would be fun. However, there were only 4 of us from the ship out of close to almost 190 people possible who set off on this grand adventure. We were to climb a spiral staircase of 322 steps in this historic towering Gothic cathedral for some hopefully fantastic views of the city. We began our tour by crossing the Bridge of Two Banks, built in 2004 to connect the cities of Cologne, Germany and Strasbourg, France. This bridge is open to pedestrians and bicycle traffic only and serves as a symbol of peace in Europe and transnational collaboration. Making our way through the city, we caught a ride on the local tram to the heart of Strasbourg. And at its heart, you'll find the Strasbourg Cathedral. It stands as a towering masterpiece of Gothic architecture in the heart of Strasbourg, France, blending Romanesque roots with intricate Gothic details that have captivated visitors for centuries. After admiring the cathedral from the outside, we finally began our climb to the top. You will notice that once you start, the spiral staircase is quite cramped and there's really no room to turn around. There is a steep incline and not many spots to stop and rest, and really not many stops to take pictures either. Approximately halfway, there is a spot where you can stop and catch your breath, or at least let others pass you by. And after that, you're on the home stretch, and once you reach the top, the views are definitely worth the effort, in my opinion. You will continue your tour along the enchanting Little France area. In the Middle Ages, this vibrant neighborhood was home to tanners, millers, and fishermen who thrived amid its winding waterways. Once the tour is done, you'll have plenty of free time to browse the shops before returning to the ship. It did end up raining for us in the afternoon, so we ended up returning to the ship a little earlier than planned. Since shuttle coaches are not allowed to drive into the heart of the city, there is a short 15-minute walk to the meetup point. The coaches run from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and have designated times for pickups. Don't be late though, since the ship departs shortly after 6:30. And finally, after departure, we had a wonderful dinner called The Taste of Germany that showcased the local German cuisine and music. Around 5 in the morning, the Viking River will arrive in Mannheim, Germany. Your included shore excursion is the Speyer walking tour. It's about a 35-minute coach ride to Speyer, and the total excursion is about 3 hours. Nestled along the Rhine River in Germany, Speyer boasts a profound history dating back to Roman times as a key settlement known as Novio Magis. Founded around 10 BC, the city evolved into a medieval powerhouse, highlighted by the majestic Speyer Cathedral, a UNESCO World Heritage Site consecrated in 1061 and renowned for its Romanesque architecture, massive vaulted ceilings, and as a burial place of 8 Holy Roman emperors. After a visit in Speyer, the coach took us to our new pickup point in the city of Worms, and from there we continued on to Rüdesheim. Once docked in Rüdesheim, we headed out to the optional dine-in Rüdesheim excursion. A charming mini train whisked us directly to the restaurant Drosselgas, where we enjoyed a full-course dinner accompanied by lively local traditional music. Now, I'm a certified introvert, but I genuinely had a wonderful time once the adult beverages started flowing. The waitstaff, host, and band were all outstanding. Great food and entertainment always makes for an unforgettable evening. Highly recommended. The next morning, we were still docked in Rüdesheim. Cast off was around 8:30, and we set sail for Koblenz. About 30 minutes later, you'll want to head up to the sun deck or the lounge if it's too cold outside for some spectacular views and live commentary as you cruise along the Middle Rhine. For the next couple of hours, we sat back and enjoyed the stunning castles. These are some truly epic sights. That same day, we arrived in the historic Old Town, Koblenz, Germany. Koblenz Old Town sits at the meeting point of the Rhine and Moselle rivers, a strategic location that's been important for more than 2,000 years. It began as a Roman military post and later grew under medieval rulers who left behind churches, fortifications, and historic squares. Despite heavy damage during World War II, the old town was carefully rebuilt and remains part of the UNESCO Upper Middle Rhine Valley today. For today's excursion, I chose to visit Marksburg Castle, one of the region's best preserved medieval castles. The tour lasts about 3 hours and comes with clear warnings, uneven paths, steep inclines, and lots of stairs, all of which I can confirm are very real. After a short coach ride, we arrived at the base of the castle and began the winding ascent to the entrance with plenty of scenery to admire along the way. Marksburg Castle is the only hilltop castle along the Middle Rhine that has never been destroyed, standing for more than 900 years. Built around the year 1100, it began as a stone fortress guarding the river below and collecting trade duties. Over time, it expanded into a full castle and was reinforced to adapt to changing warfare. After visiting the castle, we returned to the ship for dinner. Once again, the meal was outstanding, a reminder how consistently good the dining experience was throughout the entire cruise. Today's excursion is the included Cologne walking tour, where you will learn about its rich Roman and medieval history, including St. Martin's Church and Cologne's magnificent Gothic Cathedral, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today it remains Germany's most visited landmark, and I agree it is a must-see. The second excursion I took was the optional tour of the Pearl UNESCO palaces. This excursion lasts approximately 4 hours, and you get a chance to explore the lavish lifestyle of royalty in the 18th century residence. The palaces of Brühl, located just outside Cologne, were built in the 18th century as a statement of power and refinement. Augustusburg Palace, the larger of the two, served as the ceremonial residence of the Prince Archbishops of Cologne. Its grand staircase is considered a masterpiece of European Baroque architecture. Nearby stands Falkenlust Palace, a smaller hunting lodge used for falconry and private retreats. While modest in scale, it reflects the same attention to detail and balance between architecture and landscape. Together, the palaces and their formal gardens represent one of the finest examples of 18th century princely residences in Europe. In 1984, they were designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site for their architectural unity and artistic significance. Back at the ship, I still had time for my final excursion of the day: Cologne's beer, culture, and dinner. This optional tour explores several of Cologne's traditional beer halls and highlights the city's pride. Kolsch. It runs about 3.5 hours, and if you enjoy beer, it's well worth it in my opinion. This turned out to be my longest day of the cruise so far. Just be mindful of the clock. Cast off is at 10 p.m. and the ship does not wait. Next stop, Kinderdijk, the Netherlands. The next morning, we were still sailing to Kinderdijk when we finally made a brief stop in Coricum, where guests left the ship for the optional excursion, Kinderdijk windmills and Dutch cheesemaking. This excursion lasted about 4.5 hours. The Grsemian departed shortly after and met us in Kinderdijk. Since the coach couldn't meet us at the dock, there was a short 20-minute walk through the town of Coricum to the coaches. Coricum, a historic fortified town in South Holland, Netherlands, was founded around 1000 AD as a fishing settlement. After a short coach ride, we arrived at Kuiper Cheese and Dairy Farm, a family-run operation in Gothenburg, Netherlands. For generations, the Kuiper family has farmed the grown Hart region, producing authentic Dutch Gouda cheese and dairy products from the milk of their 270 cows. The farm emphasizes traditional methods with multiple family members involved and has become a tourist attraction for cheese-making demonstrations. I can confirm the Gouda cheese they make is top-notch. You can also sample the different varieties they offer. I end up getting their aged Gouda for its rich and nutty flavor.
Oh gosh, are you serious? The woman.
So where do you live?
I live south.
Oh, no.
Did I get shot? Is there anything I
Well, I guess I got one spot.
Okay, thank you for being honest, because these guys aren't. Oh my God.
We were soon on our way to Kinderdijk windmills. Kinderdijk is one of the Netherlands' most iconic historic landscapes, created in the 18th century as part of an advanced water management system. The 19 windmills work together to drain excess water from the surrounding lowlands, protecting nearby villages and farmland from flooding. In 1997, Kinderdijk was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserving this working landscape for future generations. You will learn why the mills were built and how they operate, even stepping into a working windmill to observe its mechanics and living quarters. soon we were back on board the ship for a prompt departure at 6:30 and dinner at 7. And just like that, this was our last night on board, sailing through the canals and locks. And I'll be honest, at this point I wasn't ready to go back to my room and start packing for de-embarkation in Amsterdam the next morning. And just like that, it was the last day of our cruise, and the Gosemi arrived in Amsterdam around 2 a.m. Disembarkation for many began very early if their flights were scheduled first thing in the morning. What's fantastic is that Viking will contact the local taxi company and arrange the pickup for you, including the time. It's impressive that they go out of their way to assist you with all the finicky details, even if you didn't purchase the flight package. This is really top-notch service in my opinion. And if you're able to, I would suggest spending a few days in Amsterdam or the surrounding cities in the Netherlands. It's really a fantastic country with so many sights to see. You won't be disappointed. As my very first river cruise, I can tell you without hesitation, I was thoroughly impressed by Viking Cruises' professionalism, attentive service, exceptional dining, thoughtfully planned tours, dedicated staff, and the outstanding local guides who made this truly memorable experience possible. That's what really makes river cruising so appealing. It removes much of the stress and anxiety that comes along with travel. Getting to the ship by plane, taxi, or train can still be hectic, but once you step on board, things really slow down, and for the next several days, travel becomes remarkably easy. So if you ever wondered whether river cruising is for you, especially you Gen Xers out there who will be retiring soon or already have, I hope this video has shed some light and helped you decide. And with that, safe travels.